Did you know that 40% of the decisions that we make on a daily basis are habitual? Duhigg teaches us the practical art of habit change. The power of habit serves as a reminder that we are not just products of our habits, but also their architects. Most of the choices we make each day may feel like the products of well-considered decision-making, but they're not. They're habits. This process within our brains is a three-step loop. First, there is a cue, a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and which habit to use. Then there is the routine, which can be physical or mental or emotional. Finally, there is a reward, which helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. Habits can be changed if we understand how they work. Transforming a habit isn't necessarily easy or quick. It isn't always simple, but it is possible. To change a habit, you must keep the old cue and deliver the old reward, but insert a new routine. That's the rule. If you use the same cue and provide the same reward, you can shift the routine and change the habit. Almost any behavior can be transformed if the cue and reward stay the same. Habits aren't destiny. Habits can be ignored, changed, or replaced. When a habit emerges, the brain stops fully participating in decision-making. It stops working so hard, or diverts focus to other tasks. So unless you deliberately fight a habit, unless you find new routines, the pattern will unfold automatically. You can never truly extinguish bad habits. Habits never really disappear. They're encoded into the structures of our brain, and that's a huge advantage for us, because it would be awful if we had to relearn how to drive after every vacation. The problem is that your brain can't tell the difference between bad and good habits, and so if you have a bad one, it's always lurking there, waiting for the right cues and rewards. Habits are often as much a curse as a benefit. We might not remember the experiences that create our habits, but once they are lodged within our brains, they influence how we act, often without our realization. But every habit, no matter its complexity, is malleable. The most addicted alcoholics can become sober. The most dysfunctional companies can transform themselves. A high school dropout can become a successful manager. Exercise is a keystone habit that triggers widespread change. Keystone habits offer what is known within academic literature as small wins. Small wins have enormous power, an influence disproportionate to the accomplishments of the victories themselves. If you focus on changing or cultivating keystone habits, you can cause widespread shifts. When people start habitually exercising, even as infrequently as once a week, they start changing other, unrelated patterns in their lives, often unknowingly. Once you know a habit exists, you have the responsibility to change it. Once you understand that habits can change, you have the freedom and the responsibility to remake them. If you believe you can change, if you make it a habit, the change becomes real. This is the real power of habit, the insight that your habits are what you choose them to be. Once that choice occurs and becomes automatic, it's not only real, it starts to seem inevitable. We have so much more power than we think. Power to influence our thoughts, our emotions, our habits, and how we see the world. We have so much control over our minds. By learning to observe the cues and rewards, though, we can change the routines. Even small shifts can end the pattern. But since we often don't recognize these habit loops as they grow, we are blind to our ability to control them. People's buying habits are more likely to change when they go through a major life event. Consumers going through major life events often don't notice or care that their shopping patterns have shifted. However, retailers notice, and they care quite a bit. When someone gets married, for example, they're more likely to start buying a new type of coffee. When they move into a new house, they're more apt to purchase a different kind of cereal. When they get divorced, there's a higher chance they'll start buying different brands of beer. Change might not be fast, and it isn't always easy. Sometimes change takes a long time. Sometimes it requires repeated experiments and failures. But once you understand how a habit operates, once you diagnose the cue, the routine, and the reward, you gain power over it. Thank you so much for watching.